Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, is anyone out there? For centuries, humanity has created stories about powerful, personal gods who watch over us, listen to our prayers, and guide our destinies. But what if those stories are just that? Stories. What if the gods we worship, from Zeus to Jehovah, are simply reflections of our own hopes, fears, and societies? Today, we're going on a journey to explore a challenging but fascinating idea: that theistic gods are man-made constructs, and that a different perspective, deism, might offer a more logical approach to the concept of a creator. Let's start by unmasking the divine. Across countless cultures and throughout history, we see a pantheon of gods, each with very human-like characteristics. They get angry, they fall in love, they have favorites, and they often demand very specific rituals and sacrifices. Think about it. Why would an all-powerful, all-knowing being be concerned with what food we eat or what clothes we wear? These rules often seem to mirror the societal norms and power structures of the time they were created. For example, many ancient mythologies feature gods who are warriors or kings, reflecting the values of the societies that worship them. This suggests that instead of us being created in God's image, perhaps we have created gods in our own. This leads us to the core problem with theistic religions: the lack of verifiable proof. For any other significant claim in our lives, we demand evidence. We wouldn't trust a doctor without a medical degree, or invest our life savings based on a gut feeling. Yet when it comes to the existence of a personal interventionist God, billions of people rely on faith alone. Proponents will point to sacred texts, personal experiences, or the complexity of the universe as proof. But sacred texts often contradict each other and contain historical inaccuracies. Personal experiences, while powerful, are subjective and can be explained by psychology. And while the universe is indeed magnificent, attributing its existence to a specific deity is a leap of faith, not a conclusion based on evidence. It is what we call an argument from ignorance. We don't know how the universe started, therefore, it must have been my specific God. So, if we set aside these man-made deities, are we left with nothing? Not necessarily. This is where deism comes into the picture. Deism is a philosophy that proposes a creator, or a first cause, set the universe in motion but does not intervene in its affairs. Think of it like a master clockmaker who creates an intricate, beautiful clock, winds it up, and then lets it run on its own according to the laws of physics and nature that were built into it. The deistic creator doesn't answer prayers, perform miracles, or pass judgment. The evidence for this creator isn't found in a holy book, but in the logical, observable order of the natural world itself, the laws of physics, the mathematical precision of the cosmos, the very fact that we can study and understand our universe. This perspective elegantly sidesteps the problems plaguing theistic religions. There are no competing holy books, no divine contradictions, and no need to explain why a supposedly benevolent God would allow suffering and tragedy. The deistic God isn't a he or a she with human emotions. It's a neutral, creative force. This concept challenges the very foundation of organized religion, which often relies on the idea of a personal relationship with a God who can be pleased or angered. Deism suggests that morality and meaning don't come from an ancient rule book or the fear of divine punishment, but from reason, empathy, and our shared human experience. Let's dig deeper into why the idea of man-made gods is so compelling. Joseph Campbell, a renowned mythologist, studied myths from around the world and found what he called the monomyth, or the hero's journey. He showed how different cultures, separated by oceans and centuries, independently created strikingly similar stories and divine figures. This points to a common psychological and social need. Gods helped our ancestors explain natural phenomena like lightning or the changing of seasons. They provided a sense of community, a moral framework, and comfort in the face of our own mortality. Our brains are wired to see patterns and agency, to look for a who behind the what. It's a survival trait. When we heard a rustle in the bushes, it was safer to assume it was a predator than just the wind. This same cognitive bias can lead us to see intention and purpose in the random events of the universe, and to personify that intention as a deity. So, are our gods just fabrications of the mind? The evidence strongly suggests they are products of our collective imagination, evolving over time to meet our changing needs. The wrathful, tribal war gods of the Bronze Age are very different from the more universal, loving concept of God popular today. This evolution doesn't look like a progressive revelation from a divine being. It looks like a concept being refined and reinterpreted by human culture. The gods we craft are mirrors, reflecting our own development, our growing understanding of the world, and our highest aspirations. In the end, letting go of the idea of a personal interventionist God doesn't have to lead to a meaningless existence. On the contrary, it can be incredibly liberating. It means we are not just characters in a divine play, but the authors of our own stories. Our kindness, our love, and our search for knowledge are not for the benefit of a celestial audience, but for ourselves and for each other, right here and now. The wonder of the cosmos isn't diminished. It's enhanced by the understanding that we, as a part of that universe, have evolved to the point where we can contemplate it. The moral responsibility is placed firmly on our shoulders to create a just and compassionate world, not out of fear of punishment, but out of a rational understanding of our shared humanity. Perhaps the ultimate truth isn't found in ancient texts or whispered prayers, but in the courage to face the universe as it is, without the need for supernatural explanations. Whether you believe in a specific God, a deistic creator, or nothing at all, the important thing is to keep asking questions, to challenge your own beliefs, and to base your conclusions on reason and evidence. The universe is far too grand and mysterious to be confined to the pages of a single book or the dogma of a single tribe. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of life's biggest questions. If this conversation sparked your curiosity, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges you to think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.